Resonance News, where independent thinking is as simple as breathing. Today in Vedic astrology, the sun moves into Scorpio. Scorpio deals with transformation, death, the occult, things that remain unseen, transformation, and there's no bigger transformation than death, than the cemetery. And with all these rappers being shot, black on black crime, we're going to just talk about and dispel just myths and negative stigmas surrounding black on black crime and why that word shouldn't trigger you, why we should realize and open our eyes as to what's going on, why we shouldn't be numb to it. But we're going to talk about it, the objective reality as it is. So stay tuned. Hope you enjoy the video. This is where we end up when we do black on black crime. This is where, when rappers die, because you said the key word was profit, these record companies are profiting off of our deaths while we're lying in the graves, while we're dead. All right, Resonance News, where independent thinking is as simple as breathing. Today, we're going to talk about black on black crime. Why does it trigger black people? Why do we need to solve it? Why do we need to talk about it? We need to focus on racism, but we also need to worry about our own communities. And what better man than, well, I'm going to let him introduce himself, an expert in fighting black on black crime.
Hello there, I'm Art McCoy, and I'm glad to be a part of this program today. We're going to make it happen. Listen, I've been fighting this battle against black on black crime a long time. So I want to dig deep into it with my brother for results, answers, and solutions. Yes, sir, I'm ready.
All right, now, first thing, let's touch on why you've been doing this for, what, 30 plus years at least, right? 40, okay, excuse me, 40 years. I'm not even 40 years old.
That's all right.
So now it seems where when we bring up black on black crime, black people think that we're being racist and ignoring racism because conservatives like to use, well, what about Chicago? What about the crime in the inner city? When we talk about racism, the conservatives, the Republicans, they like to deflect from racism and talk about black on black crime. How can you talk about that? How do you feel about that? Because you've been doing this before they've been using that as a retort, as a rebuttal for racism. And go ahead, talk about it.
What we must do in our community, we must be able to walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. The way it is right now, it seems like we're not doing both, or we're not doing both. We are focusing more on Black Lives Matter, which is very important. But at the same time, we must focus our second effort as well and unite it with black on black crime. They two cannot be separated, because in the end, what will happen is those conspirators and those that want to talk about Black Lives Matter, the other side will say, well, how can we help Black Lives Matter when you're killing each other in Chicago and Cleveland and all over the country? So that's why this is an important conversation today, dealing with both entities, Black Lives Matter and black on black crime.
I think it's important that we don't let the narrative be controlled by conservatives and Republicans. And as far as that, just because they say it, we can't get triggered by it. Yeah, they may use it in the wrong context, but the reality of the situation is that there is a terrible, terrible, I would like to say, slow genocide within our community. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's a slow genocide?
I think it's a slow genocide, and I also think that by me being in the struggle so long, that in the beginning, When I was your age or younger, I was naive to think that black on black crime, when I started the movement of black on black crime committee, uh, which is Black on Black Crime Incorporated now, when I started that movement, I was naive, young man, to think that uh, soon after the movement was started and we began to make progress, that we would be able to, that I would soon be able to retire from being a fighter of black on black crime and going back to a life as normal. What I found out, what there's a deep conspiracy to keep black on black crime and crime in our community flourishing, because through that flourishing, people profit on the sake of lives being lost. And I'm talking about black lives.
That is a perfect segue. I could give you a big hug right now. That is a perfect segue because that is why we chose this location. I was inspired to make this video because of all of these rappers being shot, all of these rappers dying at the hands of other black men, and this is where they end up. If you don't know, we're at the cemetery right now, the Lakewood Cemetery. Behind us is former President Garfield's burial ground. So this is where we end up when we do black on black crime. This is where, when rappers die, because you said the key word was profit, these record companies are profiting off of our deaths while we're lying in the graves, while we're dead. They're still making money off of us. Kanye West was talking about us owning our masters, these record contracts. We become slaves to these record contracts, and then we die and they get all the benefits because oftentimes we're worth more dead than alive. We know that with the organ trafficking. We know that with these record contracts. And you're just going to be a story on the news. These rappers that are getting shot and dying, they may, glorify violence, whatever, if you feel that way. But they do things for the community. So we're going to segue into, people like to say, well, crime is proximity. There's no white on white crime. There's no brown on brown crime. There's no Chinaman on Chinaman crime. But there's black on black crime. And the only reason it's like we're becoming numb and justifying us killing each other by saying, well, we live close to each other, so we might as well kill each other. How do you feel about that?
Let me say,